Edu-Magicians, welcome to the Edu-Magic Podcast with your host, Dr. Sam Fessich. Dr. Sam is a professor of education, author of Edu-Magic, and a pumpkin spice latte fan. This podcast is designed for pre-service teachers. Remember, friends, teaching doesn't begin at graduation, but during that first class at 8 a.m. Let's get this party started.
Hi, I'm Batsheva Frankel from Overthrowing Education, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hello, Edu-Magicians. Welcome back to another episode of the Edu-Magic Podcast. I'm Dr. Sam Fessich, and today we're going to be talking all about teaching philosophies. Now, I know you've heard of this term thrown around in your ed department, and maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't need to worry about that till my junior or senior year, or maybe you are in your junior or senior year, like, oh, I got to get working on that. But remember, Edu-Magicians, a teaching philosophy is something that you need to be thinking about as early as freshman year. So during this episode, we're going to break it down for you. We're going to talk about what a teaching philosophy is. It sounds harder than it is, I think. Why we need to write one. How do you even get started with it? And how to add some megapixels into your teaching philosophy. Because you know, this is the Edu-Magic Podcast, and M stands for megapixels. So how are we going to add some to our teaching philosophy? If you really want to get started with your teaching philosophy, head on over to the show notes, sfessich.com/podcast, and look for today's episode, and you'll see a little button in there that you can click to be added into the 5-day email challenge to write your teaching philosophy. Each day you'll be given a little prompt, something to think about, and add to your teaching philosophy. So that's just a little bonus for my listeners. All right, so let's jump right into it. What is it and why do we need it? Teaching philosophy. That sounds huge, right? I know when I was in undergrad, teaching philosophy, that was a big thing. But it's really quite simple if you think about it. It's your own personal thoughts on teaching. It shows who you are as a teacher. Think of it as your own personal teaching mission statement. It's what defines your attitudes, your values, and your beliefs about teaching. So think about it. Do you like student-centered classrooms? How do you like to teach? What methods, strategies, pedagogies do you enjoy incorporating into your classroom? What types of theories do you enjoy and do you like to see play out in the classroom? Your teaching philosophy is something that you should start your freshman year, brainstorm ideas, maybe bullet point some ideas. Then throughout your teaching career, throughout your college career, you start to refine and edit and revise that teaching philosophy. So by the time you're finished with student teaching during your senior year, you have a robust teaching philosophy that shares your thoughts on the teaching field. It shares what you believe a teacher is. It shares your methods, strategies, theories, pedagogies that you've tried out and used in the classroom. Now, why do we need a teaching philosophy? Some of you might be thinking, well, I only need one whenever I'm in the job search, right? Wrong. A teaching philosophy, yes, that's a question you're asked during your interviews. That's something that should be on your digital portfolio as well. But it's also something that really helps you shape the why you're in college. Why are you studying to be an educator of excellence? So starting your teaching philosophy out early in freshman year, thinking through some ideas, refining it, sophomore, junior, senior year, it can really help you whenever it comes to defining your why of teaching. All right, so hopefully we got you guys excited about it. Started with our teaching philosophy. There's lots of ways to get started in your teaching philosophy. One way is to hop on Pinterest or on Google and type educational quotes. See what speaks to your teaching heart and find something that's meaningful for you. Double check that the person actually said that quote, and then share and expand upon why that quote is meaningful for you and your teaching career. I think by finding a quote, get those creative juices flowing and get you excited about teaching and learning. Some other ways to get started is to brainstorm some questions. What brought you into the field of education in the first place? Did you have an influential teacher? Did you have a great experience in education? Why do you want to be a teacher? Why do you want to be an educator of excellence? Think about some characteristics that describe an educator of excellence. Why do they describe them and how do you fit into those characteristics? What methods and strategies do you find effective in the classroom? How can you use these strategies in your own classroom and expand upon those? Think about 5 words that describe an effective teacher. Why do they describe that? Why do those words describe an effective teacher, and how do you show those words as an effective teacher? How do you see yourself as an educator of excellence? How do you see yourself influencing the school, the classroom, the district, the community? So those are some ways you can get started and some questions to consider when it comes to working through your teaching philosophy. Now, there's a couple of logistics when it comes to your teaching philosophy. Lots of articles out there range on how long it should be, but it shouldn't be any more than a page. You can start brainstorming your freshman year, jot down some ideas, some strategies that you're observing, write down what types of theories you're seeing in practice. Make sure that your teaching philosophy is authentic to you and your brilliance shines through. So you want it to be meaningful and purposeful. And some of you might be thinking, well, I don't really have a lot of experience in teaching yet, so how do I even start to frame my teaching philosophy? And that's a great question. You might not have experience on the other side of the desk as a teacher, but you do have experience as a student. So what are some things you found effective as a student? Maybe you were a volunteer, or you did vacation Bible school, or you're a babysitter or a nanny, something like that. Could you draw upon those experiences to start fleshing out and brainstorming about your teaching philosophy? So we talked about the what and the why. We talked about how we get started. Let's share a little bit how we can add some megapixels to our teaching philosophy. So yes, you can have a document and upload that right into your digital portfolio. I recommend embedding it into your portfolio so someone can easily scroll through it and not have to download it. You can use tools like Adobe Spark to create a really cool teaching philosophy flyer or video, which would be super cool. You can add in pictures with permission of you teaching, have words, and even have your audio behind it so you can be explaining what type of strategy is being used, why you're using that strategy, things like that. You can use Canva to create an infographic. So you can use some really cool tools, but whatever tool you decide to use, make sure you embed that into your digital portfolio so someone can easily access it and not have to download anything to their computer. They can easily just go to teaching philosophy page and see all the great work that you're doing. All right, friends, we talked about what a teaching philosophy is. It's your thoughts, your attitude, your beliefs, your values about teaching. We need to write one so it can help us focus on our why in education, even as early as freshman year. Get started brainstorming those ideas. Refine, revise, edit throughout your teaching career as you gain more experiences, edit and add to it. And then lastly, add some megapixels to it. You can add some megapixels to it by using technology like Canva, Adobe Spark, or even just embedding the page right into your portfolio. All right, friends, don't forget to share all the cool stuff that you are learning and doing using #EduMagic, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
And there you have it, EduMagicians. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. For more EduMagic, check out sfessage.com and follow Dr. Sam on Twitter and Instagram @sfessage. Until next time, you have the EduMagic within you.